Don't go anywhere. News Channel 8 at 5 is coming up next. There are about $250 million worth of improvements happening right here in this area. Well, the family says these were just two good friends that had worked together. They were just out having a good time when their lives came to a tragic end. It has been a whole day now without our phones and Facebook. This has impacted the way that we do our jobs here at KTUL with our news updates, our live shots, all of that. But it's also interrupted lives and work for a lot of people that we know. Well, right now, Tiamo's is open. They're open for dinner. They've got curbside pickup right here. And they're announcing they're also open these days for lunch. You know, a year ago, they came back after the pandemic, but they just didn't have that lunchtime crowd until now. Tulsa police say the suspect in this case went speeding right through a red light at this intersection. They say he not only left the victim here, but left his own girlfriend here as well. Well, Mark, the road is reopened now after the removal and also the repavement of Greenwood. Now, the city may have covered up this old road, but there's no covering up the challenges and the concerns that are still here. You know, many churches have been doing virtual services a whole year now, and so for many people, church is a priority, so they have missed it. One church lady that I know decided to connect with her members on Facebook by getting dressed up for church at home. No one could see her. It wasn't just a social media post, it was worship with Dr. Wimberly every Sunday. When Metropolitan Church went to virtual services, it was life-changing for some members, and many remember that very first Sunday.
Just the morning of March the 29th was our first Sunday that we did not have church in the sanctuary.
Dr. Laverne Wimberly decided to get dressed up for virtual church and then post it on Facebook.
And I just decided at that point, I'm just going to get dressed as though I was going to church so I would not get into the habit of just slouching around.
And she did that every single Sunday. Her picture in her Sunday best with a word of encouragement.
I wanted not only to keep myself motivated, but I wanted to help keep others motivated as well, to inspire them, encourage them, and kind of eradicate some types of forms of depression, isolation, fear, and despair.
She kept a journal of what she wore, so each day was different for every Sunday Facebook post.
I got a lot of feedback, more feedback than I really wanted on the way I looked. I really wanted them to focus on the message. And so I did have to say one time during one of those postings to focus more on the message rather than on me.
A longtime teacher, principal, and school administrator who could miss the hats, the smiles of Dr. Wimberly.
I would see Dr. Wimberly every Sunday morning. She was the first person in the sanctuary with me.
The pastor of worship, Merton Huff, is ready to welcome members back. But until then, even he appreciates Dr. Wimberly's pictures and posts.
I don't think she's missed a Sunday of just, devotionals, encouragement. It's like she gives you a sermon before service even starts, and gives you something to focus on. And, of course, the dressing up. It made my kids get dressed.
She spent a lifetime encouraging and educating Tulsa families. The pandemic didn't stop her from celebrating the election, holidays, and even her 82nd birthday alone with a cake. This time she didn't have to share. But she's ready to go back to church.
As soon as the health officials and the scientists give us the green light that everything will be safe, I'll probably be the first one in the door.
She hasn't even thought about what she'll wear that first day back, but says this is her last picture and post from worship at home with Dr. Wimberly. No word yet on exactly when in-person church will resume. It's trucks, cars, and motorcycles doing too much when others are sleeping, burning rubber, doing donuts, and it's loud to people living and working close by.
They can lose control, hit somebody's car, and then they gonna be mad, and then it's gonna be a big fight.
There was a big fight on Friday night as dozens of cars were parked. It was just one part of the chaos that kept going. Noise that some neighbors consider an assault on the ears.
How people use sound to do different bad things to you. And from far away, that's what it sounds like, even though that's maybe their joy or their outlet. To someone else, it's quite frustrating.
And it's frustrating to police who say they can't do much about the complaints on a private parking lot.
It's not owned by the city, and it's not a place where we can go in and say, you can't do that here, because we don't have the authority to do that.
The Bank of Oklahoma owns the west parking lot, and a spokesperson told me they leave it open to provide parking for the Arts District.
Whoever owns the Bank of Oklahoma, which we know who owns the Bank of Oklahoma, they could actually do something. Why are they even in the parking lot? How do they get in this parking lot every single day?
Police say they need residents to call, complain, and be willing to sign tickets for those who disturb the peace. It's noisy, and there's concern that someone could get hurt.
They are risking their lives and risking other people's lives.
At Muggsy's Grub House, everyone gets a warm welcome from Muggsy himself.
I've been here all my life. I graduated high school in 1978. I was raised on the farm outside of town 7 miles.
But in all that time, he's never seen temperatures so low as they were in February or seen his town of Yale get a $1.4 million gas bill.
No. I'm just trying to pay my monthly bill down here at the Grub House.
So far, the city of Yale has not passed the cost on to the customers. But with the annual budget of about $1 million, they don't have the money to pay it.
I think we've been price gouged.
City Police Chief and Interim City Manager Philip Kelly says they're shocked.
Hoping the feds will come through with some kind of low interest loan and allow us to pay it back over probably a 20-year span. You know.
Do you think you should have to pay that much? Yes.
I have no comment on that.
This is Kim Jackson with Channel 8 News. We called the supplier Blue Mark Energy for answers, but did not receive an immediate response. They did post a letter to customers explaining the high February bills, citing freezing equipment, limited supplies during a very high demand for heat. The town of Yale is considering options, but if they do decide to pass it on to customers like Muggsy, he has a simple solution to keep feeding the town of Yale.
Well, we'd have to pass it on to our customers. Hell, a chicken fried steak would be $13 instead of $12. So there you go. It just keeps on going around.
Yeah, you know what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
About a week ago, I was sitting in a salon when I heard Sally Walker's story. I called police to get answers for the family concerned about the woman they call Aunt Sally. May 20th, right here at 39th and Garrison. Aunt Sally Walker's life changed forever.
I remembered I was walking to the store to get me a pop and some candy, and I never made it. I woke up, I was in St. John. That's all I can tell you.
When she woke, her family saw her like this. She'd been in an accident involving a motorcycle. A witness took this picture. 911 dispatched IMSA, but not the police, to investigate.
I'm just upset. Calm down. Yeah. Calm down. It'll be all right. I just want him to get him. Because that hurt me. I mean, I'm still hurt. And I don't think I'll ever be right. Ever.
She suffered a broken hand, broken bones in her face, and she lost sight in her left eye. That hurts.
My feelings. I mean, I was a two-eyed woman. And now look at me. I can't see nothing.
No doubt about it. This case here fell through the cracks. In a sense, it was not just any one person.
A day after we called Tulsa Police, Sergeant Stephen Floria told us they found the two drivers from the motorcycle.
And he said, yeah, that was me. Me and my cousin were riding the bike. We were riding on the sidewalk because we don't have a license. And he said, I realized she was walking towards me on the sidewalk, and he says, my brakes weren't working real good.
Skid marks show where they laid the bike down, but the passenger flew into Aunt Sally, causing her injuries. Turns out the driver had no license, no insurance, and police gave him 3 tickets.
If somebody loses their eye, you'd like a little bit more than just, few $100 in fines.
I think they need to take them downtown and put them behind bars for a little while. Let them get understanding about what they did.
She wants people to know how dangerous the motorcycles in the neighborhood really are.
It's a bunch of them sometimes. You can just hear them. just going.
She wants police to prevent this from happening to anyone else. And Aunt Sally just wants justice. She wants to keep living her life.
I'm trying to. It's a lot, but I'm gonna make it.
Now, police say the motorcycle riders did not leave the scene, and there's no proof if they were under any influence. So traffic tickets were the only penalties. There is a GoFundMe for Sally Walker. You can find that with this story at KTUL.com.